Okay, so question 11, you know that the two shapes there, the rectangle and the square, are equal area. So that means that we know that the area of the rectangle, which is x times x plus 1, is equal to the area of the square, which is 2x minus 1 times by 2x minus 1. Okay, so we know that they're equal to each other, so the first mark is for writing both of those. Then if I multiply those out, I've got a single bracket here, and I've got a double bracket where we can use FOIL on the other side. So that gives me x squared plus x is equal to, and then on this side I get 4x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 1. And I can simplify that right hand side to be 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. Okay, now I need to, well, I'm first of all recognizing that that is a quadratic function. Okay, I've got squares here, so we know that it's going to be a quadratic. And to solve a quadratic, we need to make it equal to 0 so that everything is on one side, and then I can start to solve it. But I can't solve a quadratic until it's equal to 0. So if I subtract an x squared from both sides, I get 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then if I subtract an x from both sides, 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. And then you've got different options here, but we're going to use our GDC for all of them. So one option is to put this into algebra, polynomial tools, and find roots of a polynomial. So you can't use nsolve because this is a quadratic. It's degree 2, which means quadratic. And then the first term is how many x squareds do I have? And I have 3. How many x's do I have? Minus 5. And how many do I have on their own at the end? The number is 1. And if I press enter, that gives me my two solutions. Okay, so two solutions there. One of them is that x is 0.232, and the second is that x is 1.43. Okay, so I have those two different solutions. The other side, the other way of doing this is to graph the function. So I've got 3x squared, so I'm just writing the graph in to draw, minus 5x plus 1. And then we can see here we've got two solutions where this is equal to 0. So I can now do analyze graph, and I can find when it's equal to 0, or the zeros. So I'm just clicking either side of the solution, and I can see that first one is 0.232, which is what we just found, and the second one there, and again I'm just clicking and then clicking again the other side, is the 1.43. Okay, so I've got those two possible answers on both of them. Now, the two possible answers, so whichever way you work this out, you could also use the quadratic formula, that would be fine too. So I have 0.232 or 1.43. Okay. Now I need to check whether they both work or not. So looking at the rectangle, they both work there. That would give me a positive answer. That's the only constraint really, that we need to have a positive side to our shape. It would be a very small side if it was 0.232, but that's fine. And if I add 1 to it, it's still positive. So looking at the square, I've got 2x minus 1. So if I had two lots of 0.232 and I subtracted 1, then that would actually give me a negative number. Okay, which means that my square would be a negative length, and that cannot work. Okay, that won't work. So I can't use that solution. Okay, so I need to reject this one, and the only solution is actually the 1.43, and you need to show something like this to show that you've thought about that and rejected it for a reason.